we're excited to bring you visionary voices up close. Listen in as we get up close and personal with members from the Women Leading Ed community. In this episode, we asked these leaders, who are the women that inspire you? Here's who they said.
Personally, I always think about my grandmother. She was the first on my mother's side of the family to go to college. She was very much a woman who believed in creating the life that you want versus just accepting what's in front of you. She ultimately became a teacher. We were very close growing up, and she just was really impressed upon me the power of belief, the power of, if you think it and you believe it, you can have it. And so that's always stuck with me as a mom now, but also just within my career in terms of not just letting the constraints and the current reality cloud your ability to build the reality that you want.
First and foremost, it's moms, right? Our moms push us and we watch and we model and we learn from them. My career, it has been, I just reflected on this recently, all female leaders, the ones that were like, come, do. And actually mostly minority women, which has also been very interesting. So I look back at my journey and like all the things I've been taught and all the opportunities I've been given, I'm very thankful for, but also like want to always continue to push and give back.
First of all, I was never interested in education. I actually was interested in medical science. And now that I'm in education, I've had the opportunity to really think back to who ignited my passion for learning at a young age. And that was my mother. So kudos to her for believing in education, for enrolling me in school in our country at a very young age to be where I am today.
My fifth grade teacher, who not only was a teacher who made me feel seen, she later on became the assistant principal and is the reason I got into education. I wasn't planning on getting into education, but running into her kind of led to me trying out as a substitute teacher. And that was 24 years ago. And so the fact that I might not be in education at all, if it hadn't been for a random interaction with Mrs. McCusker, years after her being my fifth grade teacher, this is where I was always supposed to be.
When I first went into education, I was a teacher. I loved it. First generation to even go to college in my family. I grew up in a background that had a fair amount of complication. And so it wasn't in my mental model that I was a leader. And I had a few women along the way who said to me, hey, you are capable of fill in the blank, when I didn't necessarily see it in myself. And so I loved being a teacher, and I never sought out leadership. I rather had the benefit of having a few women along the way who said to me like, I want to push you a little bit. I want you to think about this a little bit. And initially I was like, me? No, I like doing what I'm doing. Like, I don't want to deal with any of that. It's all conflict. And then I started thinking about the scale of possibility of impact for students. And I started thinking about the fact that I didn't see very many women at all at the highest levels of leadership. Even though the teaching ranks is overwhelmingly female, by the time you get to the superintendency, it's in most parts of the country less than 30%, and even less than that for women of color. And so I think I had some women who helped me understand the possibility.
Had a superintendent when I was a teacher. Her name was Dr. Maria Levinson, a brilliant woman. She was a visionary. She really moved our district forward. And I was involved in a lot of committees and things like that. And she is the first person who said to me, you really should think about administration. I think you have a lot to offer. And I wasn't sure at the time because I love being a teacher. I still love being a teacher. But she was the person who planted that seed and showed me the way that a woman could lead and really bring a district into a whole different place. She was ahead of where state ed was, and she really invested so deeply in professional development. My board president is another person. Honestly, she has been in public education for close to 50 years now. So when you talk about someone who's really committed to the work and really thinking about education as the greatest public good that you can do, that really resonates with me and our moral imperative for the work that we do.
Oh my gosh, there's so many women who have helped and elevate me. The one that first comes to mind, though, is my PhD supervisor, Dr. Darlene Opfer, who's now at RAND Corporation. When I got to the University of Cambridge, I was there on a Marshall Scholarship, and I had incredible imposter syndrome. I did not believe I deserved to be there. University of Cambridge is the best university in the world for education, and I was so intimidated. Darlene not only helped me to really structure the way I was thinking about things, she taught me so much about what was possible as you really think about large systems and how we really dismantle generations of a system that was designed in ways that aren't benefiting everyone. Darlene not only helped me to get through my PhD, but she's like a family member now. She's the person I go to all the time for all critical advice. And of course, there's the Women Leading Ed board and my co-founder and partner, Serena Parker. All of these women, they inspire me daily. They help to give me that confidence when I'm doubting myself, and they dream even bigger than I do at times.
Well, I had an incredible superintendent. She gave me the opportunity to open a brand new high school, and she always made sure that she sponsored me even when I wasn't in the room with her, and she was an incredible mentor. We still stay in touch, and I just am so grateful for her.
Once I got into the profession, it was really women like Hannah Scandera. She was a state chief when I was kind of just starting in state work, but I saw her in a group of all men, keeping up with the boys and kind of bossing them around and showing that she could be a really tough lady, taking hits left and right and still do really great things for kids. So seeing someone like her let me know that I could also be a state chief at a really young age and keep up with the boys and surpass them. And I think it was really important to see someone like her in that role. And then you've got other folks who've been able to really show what it means to get student achievement by staying the course. Women like Carrie Wright, who's now moved into her second state chief role. She did amazing things in Mississippi by staying the course. And it wasn't about inflating her own ego or trying to make her brand really big. It was about kids. And she took Mississippi from the bottom of the ranks to the middle of the pack. And that was a huge leap and really important for kids who've never had a shot. So I look at those women who are about outcomes and about taking bold stances for kids and showing what is possible, even when it feels like you can't do it.